What's going on, Soul Tribe? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're getting ready for the energies coming this week. I kind of like what's coming through here. Soul Tribe is going to be our first eclipse that's going to be happening. It's going to be some dope stuff here. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just impressive, gang. Yeah, you impress me all the time there, crew. I don't know why I'm struggling so much with the plural. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Harry Self brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now there, y'all. It's your weekly download. I'm gonna get better about that. I think it's because the Mercury retrograde's getting closer. Moons and Gemini, it's a whole thing. Where is this gonna be happening? Mercury retrograde is gonna be taking place in my ninth house, so that's something to look into to see where that energy is gonna be happening. We're already in the retrograde shadow, and so this is a time to be kind of reflecting on things coming up as we get closer to that energy, because there may be something here that we may need to look back on in this as some just pay attention, put some bookmarks in some situations, some key things that just sort of stand out to you. So, but yeah, with this weekly download, I just talk about the when the transits are at exact aspects, how we can work with the energies, and how this energy may work with you. What some things to think about, how it may come up in your chart. So, and if that's something you're curious about, you're wanting to know more about how these energies work more personally with you, I have links down in the description box below with all the services that I provide, so you can check that stuff out there. We can get to know your chart on a deeper level, connect with your energies. Not let astrology control you, but you control your where you go. So it's very empowering when you get to work with your energies more intentionally and show up more consciously. So, but let's start doing that, because our first energy, this is going to be for the week of the March 22nd through the 27th, and our first energy is going to be on Venus Day, which is Friday, and that'll be on March 22nd at 4:46 p.m. and these will all be Pacific time. Mars is going to be entering into Pisces. And this is an interesting one for Mars to be, because outside of Scorpio, Mars he's all emotional in Cancer, but in Pisces he's this energy. The Mars is tired. The Mars he's gone through the whole zodiac, and now it's a time to rest, and I feel like he's being received well. I feel like this is a time to look at the things that you've done up until now and greet yourself with compassion. Treat yourself with compassion. Listen to the body, because I feel there's this awareness that's coming with this Pisces energy that just shows where maybe you've been maybe overactive mentally, and that's kind of that's really kind of got you where you feel kind of frazzled or kind of burnt out, or maybe you haven't been able to, maybe it's been a lot of just like fast, kind of fast food, or just like not been able to treat yourself to like maybe like a home cooked meal or something like that, or not being able to make time to move the body, maybe to get to work out, maybe to do stretching, or to do whatever this may look like. But when I say this Mars, I feel like is well received too, because when he's entering into Pisces, Venus is and still in Pisces, Neptune is in Pisces, and Jupiter is in Taurus, the sign that Venus is in guardianship over. So and vice versa. So there's a lot of support here, I feel, for Mars, and I feel like it's for showing, it's like this grace energy, but showing that with everyone, and understanding where even if there are some sort of like it's like recognizing like reactive energy, I feel, with this Mars and Pisces, and choosing not to, what energies to give our response to, and what ones we're just learning to let go. We're just learning to, what, I'm just not at that vibration today. I wish you love and light, and take care, and I hope that you do process whatever this is that is going on. So, it's Mars is in a very interesting place. This is a time to see how we respond to aggression, even, and giving that even a space, if that's something that is, because anger is one that it shows you where you want to improve. All the emotions show you where you want to improve. And this, I feel like Mars is sensitive too. You know, he's not afraid to be vulnerable, to admit that there are some things that he could do better, where he can be better, and then doing that going forward. He just got out of a conversation with his higher octave Pluto, you know, back when Mars first entered into Aquarius. And so Mars has learned a lot, especially over this last. I feel like this his last trek, or his trek through Aquarius. His thoughts have been changing in new kind of ways, new sort of things. I feel like have been coming to the forefront. How he feels about himself and how that energy connects with the group as well. And I feel like maybe even too, how, like it can show, like again, how we can show up in the body, and how I feel like maybe even because this energy has been giving me great kind of visualization type of energy, and however that looks, you know, I keep charts of different times, like my solar return chart, my lunar return chart. I keep, you know, when we get into like the astrological new year, I'll keep a chart of that, see how the energies are, what themes to focus on. And it's not something to, you know, just I feel like different visual creative methods. I feel, you know, something to flex your imagination with, but something I do feel like is needed to be grounded about, as far as like, okay, this is what happened with this last year. This is where where I really brought it, where I could have done more, and knowing that you can do more. And it's just like, how is that going to look? How am I getting my geeked up self, or get myself, how am I getting myself geeked up? You know, how am I imagining this next version of me going into this season? You know, because this Mars, which we'll be talking about this energy here soon, this Mars is going to be fueling all of this Aries new moon eclipse energy that's going to be going on. And, you know, Mercury's retrograding through this. We have a lot of personal planets. We'll have the Sun, the Moon, Venus, and Mercury all in. And we got Chiron in the mix of that. And the North Node is also in Aries, so it's hot. It's going to be hot. But Mars is cool, you know, through this. Because I feel like it's, again, this is like, okay, yeah, we may have things coming up, we may feel some type of way, but this is not a time I feel like Mars is really pushing himself. He's prioritizing. It's like, okay, I'll get this stuff done, but this other stuff, no, let me wrap my head around this. Let me connect with the higher self. Let me really kind of tune in with what feels right, you know. Have I been sleeping enough? How can I get prepped for all of these big things? You know, this I feel like is a great energy too, to just really get grounded in the body, whether this is through yoga, through some workout, through mindful walking, through hiking, through swimming. You know, just something to, I feel like swimming would be a really kind of nice one, something to get close with the water, maybe jogging by the water. But, you know, I just feel like this is an energy to, you just be kind and gentle with yourself. I feel, as you're going through this, and be gentle with others as well. And I like how this goes into this. I feel like this is going to be, could be, you know, very kind of lovely weekend type of energy. Because on Sunday, we're going to move to the next energy here. Because on, Sunday, March 24th, at about 9:37 a.m., Venus at 15 degrees of Pisces, 49 minutes, will be sextile Jupiter, who is 15 degrees in Taurus, 49 minutes. And sextiles are very nice energy. They're very kind of harmonious type of blend there. It can be very kind of exciting energy too, I feel like. With especially kind of the theme, I feel, coming up with this eclipse being in Libra. You know, there's this, Venus does play a big role in that energy. Mars and Venus play big roles in this, considering the Sun is going to be in Aries, but he's just left Pisces, so he's still familiar with this energy. And then the Moon is being fueled by Venus, who's in Pisces. And I just feel like there's a lot of supportive strength that could be coming through here, because where I feel like, sure, eclipses can be a lot, but I feel like that it's in that state of kind of like understanding where the other is coming from, or that the other is going through this experience, that we grow, is what I'm kind of getting with this Venus sextile Jupiter energy. That's one thing. What I'm really been kind of feeling with this is like with the sense of partnerships. I feel, because like I was saying earlier, Jupiter and Venus are in mutual reception, being in their sign. They're in the signs that each other's are guardians over. Jupiter being responsible for Pisces, Venus for Taurus, and so they have each other's best interest at heart. Especially this, like, so this is like a really beautiful conversation that they're having with each other, and I feel this could be an invitation to have really nice conversations about what you and maybe a friend, because Libra deals with like, or excuse me, Libra, Venus deals with those relationships, and the Libra energy deals with those one-on-one relationships, which will be kind of a focus. And it's like, how can we show up for what the other values, how can we be there? Because the nice thing I feel is like Jupiter is there to ground the vision that Venus has, and Venus is there to give vision to Jupiter, so it's, I feel like this can be one where we harmonize with one another. So we just have these conversations. Again, come with this firmness. Mars is still assertive, in Pisces, but he's not gonna fight about it. It's just like, hey, this is my point of view. This is where I kind of see myself going. What is your dream looking like? Where do you see yourself? This could be this sort of like mutual inspiration, and like just having just sort of like and again, not kind of forcing the thing, just sort of like having like where do you see yourself in 6 months? What do you see yourself focusing on? Not even necessarily in career, just in yourself. Like, are you going to be focusing more kind of emotionally? Are you going to focus on maybe some sort of hobby, some sort of creative project? Maybe you're going to get something started up. Maybe you're going to go do some sort of schooling. This could be just an understanding of each other's values, of what you value, and then how that jointly kind of comes together, and then how that does expand. Because I feel that energy with Jupiter and Venus, when you really take advantage of these harmonious energies, they could just be so rewarding in between two energies like Venus and Jupiter. Like two very abundant planets, or very abundant energies. I just feel like it can be that's a very nice flow. I feel that energy too can be one where you can take some time maybe over this maybe like weekend to get inspired, maybe go appreciate. I feel like kind of the nature around you, maybe get by, if you have this available, maybe buy some water, or maybe even like a river or a stream, something along those lines, or maybe going to some sort of like museum, possibly going to appreciate some sort of like art, something along those lines, just to get the imagination. Even just go looking at the sky. Pisces, Venus and Pisces is, I feel like, connecting on a universal level, and I feel like when we all look up at the sky, there can be this big sense of awe, and it's just like, again, very beautiful energy. I feel like can really happen with this Jupiter sextile Venus energy. So, you know, see where the energies of really just being at peace, and I feel like creating this space for creation, whether this is with someone or co-creation with source, however this is resonating. But then we have on Monday, on Moon Day, the day, and that I love that it's happening on a Moon Day, because the moon's associated with Mondays, March 25th at midnight, and that's Pacific time, at a specific time. The full moon penumbral lunar eclipse is going to be happening at 5 degrees and 7 minutes of Libra. So if you have any points around those cardinal placements, so that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Any placements if you just have placements with this energy, well, your cardinal, fire, and air. Yeah, those energies will, if you have any points around that, check that because you may be feeling this energy a bit more potently. But the degree points are very fascinating, I feel like, and that's where I was talking about this kind of supportive energy, and as far as like talking about as far as like, especially in relationships, as far as like, where are things going? Because I feel that sometimes, especially when we think about Libra energy and when that conversation between, because when we have this full moon energy, the sun and the moon are in opposition. So they don't got, like they got some things to say. And it's like, how do we integrate this? How are we going to make this work? How do we both win, gain something and lose something? And I feel that sometimes in relationships we can get so used to being comfortable that we don't rock the boat a little bit. Just like, hey, I'm tired of going this direction. How do you feel about going this way? Does that resonate with you, or do you want to try this way first and then but get into this place where we're just seeing where each other are going. Do we have any sort of things that we're focusing on? And then if not, let's get something focused that we focus on together. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe we're making more time to hang out with each other because we get so busy with the world and whatever, but it's a very interesting energy with this relationship between self and other, Aries and Libra. And what's happening, like one thing that I've been really kind of enjoying with astrology, I think I mentioned this in the last one, there's this thing with Sabian symbols. And it's this astrologer Dane, oh excuse, what's his, how do I say it, what's his last name, red hair. He's did this whole research with this degree theory and really kind of took it in depth, and the conversations or the phrases or the phases that these energy points, the sun and the moon, are going through at 5 degrees 7 minutes of Libra, which in Sabian theories it's interesting because between 5 minutes and 5 minutes and 59 minutes, that is the 6th degree in the Sabian symbols because there's no 0 degree there. So everything when you apply, you just move it up. So 0 would be 1, 1 would be 2, 2 would be 3, and etc. But I wanted to talk about these real quick because I thought it was really fascinating in seeing where we're going, because the one for where the sun is at, and this is really questioning who I am, in your chart. Who am I? What am I? How do I understand these energies, this chart? The Aries phase 6 is the phase 6 is a square with one of its sides brightly illuminated. And the keynote of that is the emotional desire for concrete and stabilized existence as a person. Now, the sun in Aries is trying to establish that sense of self, that, and in that self-expression, it's the desire to be, to exist. And I feel that when it talks about a square with one of its sides brightly lit or illuminated, I feel that this is, how do we keep things held together, still be the main characters in our story, but also be there when the focus has shifted to others. Still be confident in ourselves and not threatened by, I feel like just again really comfortable in self to be able to ask and be there. I don't know, it's like to be motivated for others. It's like it's a very interesting energy because Aries is this leadership. And leadership is not just being in charge. It's that, again, it's motivating others to be at their best vibration. But it all starts with self. And that's where I feel like that nuance can be really understood, because the penumbral lunar eclipse, when you look at it visually, it's just a slight shadow on the moon. It's not nearly as visual as effect as when it's a full, just a full moon lunar eclipse, and it's just like the moon's really bright. This is one I feel of understanding self, and the moon, or excuse me, the sun just had a conversation with Pluto, having this sextile. The understanding how it is important to have a strong sense of self in the group, because again, that keeps the group motivated to push higher, you know. And with where the moon's at, I kind of like this too, because it's the phase for Libra 6, their 6 degrees is, a man watches his ideals taking a concrete form before his inner vision. And the keynote is the need to visualize clearly one's dreams or ideals in order to make them truly effectual. So I feel like the moon likes this idea of something being motivated, but it's just like we need to see results, or we need to see like the not results, we need to see the blueprints of this. Okay, what does that plan look like? Again, we open up a whole dialogue. And that's where I feel like where this lunar eclipse, it can be intense if we're not there to have that dialogue, if we're just so focused on self. There's a balance here that's needed to be happen. The energy to say that this is, to be able to like, this is my truth, this is where I'm going, and the truth to say whether that resonates with you or not. And then what are we going to do? And that doesn't, again, just even if we come into dissonance, that doesn't mean we have to split, you know, whether this is friendship, you know, whatever that relationship, co-worker, business, you know, partnership. It's just like, okay, how can we make both of these realities exist? You know, that's what oppositions are about. It's this tug of war. But both sides, in reality, it's not about tugging. They just need to quit tugging. It's just like, okay, let's just meet each other. Let's meet each other halfway with this. Someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose. Or, you know, like we're both going to win. We're both going to lose something, but at least we can both be at peace with this. At least now we're on the same page again. We have this direction. The energy has been motivated again. So that's how I feel. And I feel like with where things are changing, this is a time where we want to be able to have more healthier conversations with each other about these things and not let them be the end of the world, so that we don't have extreme types of responses. But I do feel like the big part of this thing is we do need to have this strong sense of self here, that others can't motivate us to do something. We have, but first, or they can help us, motivate us, but we have to know what we're doing first. We have to know what we want and still know that that's true even when it's challenged by others. We can change some things, but inherently that foundation stays, you know, that sense of self stays the same. It's, again, very nuanced, and I feel like it's, the language evolves the more that you do it. But overall, I like this kind of this lunar eclipse energy. You know, I feel, because I mean, this is, I've seen it in the conversations that I'm having with others. I've had some relationship with this Pluto entering Aquarius that have come to a close. They've served, or they're under, let me not say that, they're under evaluation. And there are some that are flourishing, you know, that are becoming, that are doing well, even in times of tension. It's like, and I feel like this full moon energy really shows you who's willing to show up at times of adversity. And again, to be able to state needs, like, you know what, and to have like accountability as well. I'm feeling with this energy, and again, not just within partnerships, but with oneself too. You know, how can I need to account for where I need to show up, where I could have been better, where I could have, you know, this. So, yeah, I like this. So be that one side that shines brightly, then the whole square is illuminated, and then that's a whole then we're a whole construction, whatever. I had something really clever there, but that's all the energy I got for you there, gang. So hopefully you like that. And again, if you have any questions about how these energies may be specifically kind of coming up in your chart, you know, it comes down to where these houses are going to be, where your house placements are at, and where Venus is sextiling your Jupiter, and is that doing something with your blah 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 blah. It's a whole thing, but it's so fascinating to see how these energies can translate. But it does get down to that after you've learned this stuff, it's half of it is knowing it, but the other is living it. So make sure that you are getting out there and being in the journey, and looking up at staying connected with source and the magic that's in life there. But yeah, stay safe out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof and enjoy this eclipse. Let this be one where, eclipses don't have to be scary. Change doesn't have to be scary. Change can be empowering. It can be invigorating. It can be innovating. It's just all types of words here. Aries energy all the way. And I will catch you. Oh, and one more thing, I almost forgot, or I just remembered. If you have any Cancer in your place, and after we're done checking your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, come up from other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We talk about lunar shenanigans just in depth like this. I go into this lunar theory and all this, well, lunar theory, but Sabian symbol stuff. It's a great old time, so definitely check that out. But yes, and I will catch you there if you got Cancer placements on the next one tomorrow. But otherwise, later.